that was the theory that Terence McKenna had to the thing that's going to change the universe, is that one day someone's going to invent a time machine, and that when they invent a time machine, all time ceases to become linear. So you think if you have a time machine, well, I'll just go back to the time where they were making the pyramids and I'll watch them do it. That's not what it works like. What he was saying, you can't travel where there are no roads. So once a road gets built, then you can travel. So once a time machine gets invented, then anyone from the invention of the time machine forward to forever can come back to that moment and can go to any point in time from that moment to the end of time. So all time ceases to be linear.
Imagine if I said, you are already a time traveler. Not in a Hollywood movie, not inside a capsule hurtling through a vortex. Right now, at this exact moment, you are drifting through time at the relentless pace of 1 second per second. But here's the twist. Physics suggests we aren't limited to that speed. Time is elastic. It can warp. It can snap. And somewhere out there, the schematics for actual time travel might already exist, just waiting for us to unlock them. But before we construct the device, we must grasp the laws. In 1905, Albert Einstein didn't just release a study, he shattered our understanding of reality. Special relativity, followed by general relativity, two concepts that ripped the cosmos apart and exposed an unsettling fact. Time isn't fixed. It curves, it elongates. It relies on velocity, mass, and gravity, not some universal cosmic metronome. Picture space and time as a single fabric. Drop something heavy on it, like a star, and the fabric sags. That is how gravity functions. Earth doesn't orbit the sun because it is pulled. It rolls along that curve. But here is where it gets bizarre. That distortion doesn't just impact space, it impacts time. Close to a massive object, time drags. The more intense the gravity, the slower the seconds pass. This is no longer just a hypothesis. We track it daily. GPS satellites circle the planet at over 8,000 miles per hour. They are distant from gravity, and they are moving rapidly. The result? Their internal clocks run faster than clocks on the surface. Not by a lot, but enough that without frequent adjustments, your maps would drift by miles within hours. Need a human proof? Look at astronaut Scott Kelly. He lived for 340 days on the International Space Station, cruising at 17,500 miles per hour. His identical twin, Mark, remained on Earth. When Scott came back, he was younger, by a fraction of a second. That isn't a fairy tale. That is time travel, and the effect amplifies the faster you move. At 99.99% the speed of light, a single year for you could mean centuries vanishing back home. You don't jump to the future, you simply wait for it in the express lane. But is reverse travel possible? One physicist has dedicated his career to solving that riddle. Professor Ronald Mallett, a theoretical physicist at the University of Connecticut. His mission started with heartbreak. At 10 years old, Ronald's father died from a sudden heart attack. Devastated, he found a copy of The Time Machine by H.G. Wells and made a vow. He would discover a way to return and rescue his dad. Decades later, Dr. Mallett possesses a valid equation for a theoretical machine. His design? Circulating laser beams creating a swirl in spacetime, like stirring coffee with a spoon. But this isn't magic. His math holds up. The obstacle? It would require the power output of a sun. He isn't alone. Many scientists have drafted designs for time vessels. What they are missing is the fuel.
Even if we conquer the energy issue, there is a much more treacherous snare. Suppose you do return. You alter one detail, just one. What if you inadvertently prevent your grandparents from meeting? That is the grandfather paradox. If you cease to exist, you can't go back to stop them, which implies you would be born, which implies you could go back in an endless loop. Stephen Hawking had a skeptic's view. He suggested the chronology protection conjecture, the idea that the universe possesses built-in defenses against paradoxes. Whenever someone publishes a study on backward travel, the calculations break down under quantum instability, as if reality refuses to permit it. But if a sports car fails, perhaps a wormhole will succeed. Wormholes are hypothetical tunnels through space-time. Visualize bending a sheet of paper and punching a hole through it. Point A to point B in an instant. Einstein's math permits them, but there is a snag. To keep a wormhole open, you would need exotic matter, possessing negative energy density. We aren't even sure if that exists. And even if it does, you would need to accelerate one end to near light speed or park it near a black hole to enable time travel. This isn't merely a physics challenge, it is an engineering one that makes building a megastructure look like a Lego set. But what occurs if we actually build it? Philosopher Terence McKenna proposed an unsettling concept. He theorized that the invention of time travel wouldn't just edit history, it would terminate it. His reasoning? You cannot travel to a destination without a path. So once the first machine is activated, it creates an anchor, a fixed moment in time. From that second onward, anyone in the future could return to that spot, forever. Ownership? Pointless. Copyrights? Vanished. History? Chaos. You create something? A visitor from the future already did it and then returned to steal your thunder. McKenna thought this might explain why we haven't encountered travelers yet, because the first gateway hasn't been opened. But when it is, nothing remains the same. Some claim it has already occurred. Enter Al Bielek, a man who alleged he was part of a clandestine military project during World War II. He stated the government attempted to cloak a ship, the Philadelphia experiment, but events took a dark turn, horribly dark. According to Bielek, he and his brother were hurled through time to 1983, then 2137, and finally 2749. He spoke of a radioactive wasteland, then centuries later, a paradise governed by artificial intelligence and floating cities. No currency, no conflict, no suffering. He even forecast that Florida would be submerged by 2025. Now here's the reality. It is 2025, and Florida still has beaches. No proof, no confirmation, just a tale. But it went viral because deep down, we want to believe someone has solved the riddle.
However, modern physics offers a variation that might resolve the contradiction. Certain interpretations of quantum mechanics imply that altering the past doesn't erase your future, it generates a new branch of reality. You eliminate your grandfather? In one timeline, you never existed, but in the one you departed from, you still do. It is like a universal divergence. Other theories suggest the cosmos has safety measures, random occurrences that always block you, a missed connection, a spilled drink, a stranger's interference. No drama, no paradox, just bad luck. Or perhaps destiny. All paths to time travel, lasers, wormholes, quantum gates, face the same obstacle: energy. To warp space-time, you need power. And not just a lot, you need stellar-level power, black hole-level intensity. Currently, even our massive colliders can barely ripple the fabric. But here is the wild card. Not long ago, flight was a myth. So was splitting the atom. Computers the size of warehouses now fit in your pocket. Past impossibilities are present realities. So the question remains, will energy be the bottleneck forever? Or will we find a way to cheat the cosmos? If hopping through time is theoretically feasible, where are the tourists from tomorrow? Some argue they are already here, walking among us unnoticed. Others suggest they would never expose themselves, that we are the past, too barbaric, too unstable, like watching ancestors discover fire, vital but not worth disturbing. Or perhaps Hawking's defense mechanism actually functions, and no matter how close we get, the universe always finds a way to seal the exit. So, can we conquer time? We already do in one direction, the future. We march toward it second by second, beat by beat. But the past? That stays locked, protected, unreachable. For now. But every fresh breakthrough in physics lifts the veil just a little more. From Einstein's calculations to Mallet's vision, from the aging twin paradox to the silent potential of wormholes and quantum splits, we are closer than we have ever been. Maybe tomorrow we cross the threshold. Maybe someone already has. Until that moment arrives, we remain passengers on the slow train, moving through time, asking questions we aren't quite prepared to answer. But if someone, someday, does construct the device, and they return, maybe they will discover this video. Maybe they are viewing it right now. Because ultimately, the future isn't just out there. It might already be here. The question is, are we prepared when it arrives?